got this working. It was a little bit of a pain last night and this afternoon as well, but it's finally working. I'm actually streaming right now on YouTube. I'm streaming on BitChute, on Odyssey, and also on Rumble. It's 100% live. Okay. Now, so if you notice, I didn't create a specific article for this one. The reason is because when I created that article, I had my old workstation. So yesterday I was like, hey, since I upgraded my workstation, let me try to do the streaming. And then it was failing. And then when I thought I resolved it last night, and when I tried it in the afternoon today for the live stream, it still didn't work. I was confused. So I finally found out. I'll show you the little tricks and tips on how I resolved the issue from last night, and I finally resolved everything today. That's why I'm able to stream. So if you want to chat, you can drop chats in YouTube, Odyssey, Rumble, and BitChute. It's working pretty well. I'm actually surprised how well it's actually working. It's actually been better than the setup I had for last night or previously. I'll show you everything how it's running. I'm actually using it right now as well. Okay. So if you want to get started, I said the articles in ojambo.com. In the description, I'm also linking to the original article, this one here, which says self-host your own Restream server locally with NGINX and RTMP. Now, you don't need to, if you don't want to do it locally, for example, if you have a BPF or a server somewhere, you can do it that way. It's actually, it doesn't take as many resources as you might have heard. And I'll show you how you can actually get to use even less resources than you might have heard about. And I'll tell you how, when I actually tried it this afternoon, I was actually using more resources, but I got it to actually use way less resources, and I'll show you how that's done. All right, so, and I'm going to prove to you that I'll show you, what do you call it? I'll also show you the live streaming, so you guys can see that I'm not joking, like I'm actually streaming on all the different platforms. All right, so what is it here? So I'm just going to quickly go over the article. I don't want this live stream to take too long. I just want to, this is just a, I mean, when I wrote the article, it was more of a proof of concept. So I'm actually doing it now, and looks like I'll be able to do this in the future. And there's a lot of amazing things you can do as well. So we'll go into all that. So as I said, so NGINX, which is a lightweight HTTP server, comes with, or doesn't come, but it has a module called the RTMP module. And I'll tell you some of the, obviously everything is open source. I'll tell you some of the issues with it and how I also resolved it, so you can work around those issues, and I'll show you what I did. Okay, so so when I created this article, I also used Podman and Podman Compose. The reason I wanted to put in a container is because on my workstation I have Apache installed. I don't use NGINX as my primary HTTP. That's because a lot of client work I do, it's based on Apache. So I'm very good with Apache, but I'm saying that I could use NGINX, but if something goes wrong, sometimes I'm requested to tweak the server, so that's why it's Apache. However, if I do use NGINX, which I have for some clients, I prefer to put it inside a container. That way I can tweak things specific to that application for the client or clients. As I said, I've already explained, it's open source, cost effective, customizable, and it's you're going to learn about streaming technology and server management. So I'm using OBS, but I also tested out yesterday with FFmpeg. Oh, and do I have stories for FFmpeg? So because I'm using Fedora Linux, so if you don't know, Fedora, because they're owned by Red Hat, which is then owned by IBM, especially when Red Hat, they're very strict or stricter with the open source software. So when they build versions of, for example, OBS, FFmpeg, Chromium, they don't build it with proprietary pieces of software or questionable licenses or anything like that. So for example, some of the codecs, they're stripped out. So that sometimes makes it they're stripped out by default, although they're changing, especially when the patents expire. Then, you know, I guess when their lawyers give them the go-ahead, they actually then build the software. So for example, when I was trying to stream, you know, the most popular streaming is usually MP4. So when I was trying to stream, it wasn't working. So when I checked it out, I'm talking about FFmpeg here, I then remembered, oh yeah, I'm using Fedora, so they most likely don't have it built in. I was thinking, how come OBS? I know OBS also uses FFmpeg under the hood, so they might have their own version. But I was thinking, no, the OBS version I'm using, OBS Studio, is the one from the Fedora repository. So that means that if it's okay there, it should be okay with the regular FFmpeg. Then I remembered something, is that, remember, I have two GPUs. I have the integrated graphics and I have the AMD Instinct MI60. So so what I'm doing, for example, even right now, is for streaming, I'm using integrated graphics, and then for recording, I'm using the dedicated, that's the Instinct GPU. So both of them, because I have the ROCm drivers installed, everything is done on the hardware level. So what that means is that I guess it's built in, and maybe Fedora didn't check the driver, or they're fine with it, because I guess AMD will be the one who gets in trouble if somebody wants some patent. I think AMD pays the patent licenses anyway, so that's perfectly fine. So so I had to, I'll show you this on the command line. So what I had to do is, I realized that the libx264, that's the one where it uses the CPU, that's not actually, that doesn't come by default. So I will either have to change the FFmpeg to the one that's on RPM Fusion or somewhere else, or build it myself, which I don't want to do. Then I realized, might as well use, because I actually get to use, I can use the CPU one, which Intel, I think, I don't know if Intel supports, or it give the code up, you know, to be open source. But yeah, it's called VAAA. That's the one that runs off your CPU. So there's that one, and then obviously there's some which is hardware decoding. I'm talking about specific hardware decoding. So I'll show you all that stuff as well. So when I figured it out, then I was able to stream, and I was pretty happy with that. All right, so what else is here? Oh yeah, so the Docker file, I should really start calling it container file. I might start doing that in the future. You guys probably know me as the Podman guy. I think I have the most Podman tutorials of anyone, anywhere. So the Docker file, that's I'll show you that. It's actually right here. We can take a look at it. So I wanted to use Alpine Linux because it's a very lightweight. It's based off Debian, but it's a very, very lightweight. Unfortunately, even though the RTMP module is available, but the problem is the way the Alpine, the container version, is built, is that it won't use that module. So you will need to build it from scratch, which most likely you have to do for any Linux distributions. So what I did was, I just used Debian here. I say Debian Bullseye, and then I updated it, and I installed the build essentials, and then I also got wget, git, and curl and ffmpeg. So ffmpeg, I was kind of lazy. You actually didn't need this. If you're just, for example, just doing to YouTube, something like that, it's fine. But so ffmpeg, that's the key that will allow you to get around some of the issues I had, and I'll show you those. We'll go through those later. So here we download NGINX. So we don't use the one in the repository because it won't be built with the module. So you download the NGINX, and then we also get we clone to get the module. And after that, we create we put the source code. So if you're running Linux /user/src, that's for the source code. We put the source code there, and then we configure. Basically, we're building NGINX, and we add the NGINX RTMP module, and make install. This runs really fast, especially if you have a faster system. Even my old workstation, which was what was it, from 2011. I kept on saying it was 11 years old. That's actually not true. It was from 2011 and just got rid of it, so it was 14 years old. Wow. No, is that right? Yeah. Wow. 14 years old. Yeah, that workstation was 14 years old, a workhorse. So then we copy the NGINX configuration file into /user. So we overwrite the default one and we put it in a special location for ourselves. Then what we do, if you're going to use temp HLS, so I'll tell you what this is. This is if you're going to, I think this one is what Apple basically pushed. So that one is if you have like a video and you want to use to stream a video instead of, for example, a live stream. But I'm going to use a live stream, so we'll make that as well. And then we're going to expose the ports 1935 and 8080. So I'm not using port 1935 on my system, so we'll map it right there. And 8080, obviously I'm not using it, so we can map it there. That's perfectly fine. And then especially if you're running Docker, you can put command /user local nginx sbin nginx and -g and Debian off. So we're not using the Debian. We're just running it without a Debian. So this will allow us to start, stop, and control it more fine-tuned. And this works perfect, especially when we have inside a container. I also think the reason you do this is because NGINX, at least in the past, it's not like Apache where it runs as a root user, and you run it and then it can it will start, stop by itself like that. So NGINX doesn't have that. So because it was meant to be very lightweight, and it's actually being very popular for being used as a proxy. All right, so that's our Docker file. I'll show you my Podman file as well. My compose YAML. Now I think normally you call it docker -compose.yaml file. So the version doesn't matter, 3.8, 3, etc. Doesn't matter. You can even just remove that. Services, NGINX -RTMP. So clearly this doesn't exist, but I'm making it. I'm going to build it based on the Docker file. You can also call it container file if you're using Podman. I think if you're using Docker, it must be called Docker file. The container name, as I said, is just going to be NGINX -RTMP. The ports, so we're mapping, the first is the host, meaning my local computer, and then the second one is the container. So 190, as I said before, I'm not using 1935 on the host system, so I can just map them exactly the same. And port 8080 I'm not using, so we can map that as well. Then I'm creating two volumes, and I'll explain why I'm creating two volumes. So this one just grabs the config the configuration file and just makes it readable. Readable only in the because you want to change unless you become root, you can change it. And then the logs. So if there's any problems, you want to check the logs. You just it will create a logs folder for you, and then it will be mapped to /var/log/nginx. This will map. It will create the folder if it doesn't exist and create one for you. And then we have restart always. There we go. So meaning that if something goes wrong, it will try to restart by itself instead of you having to do it manually. Now that's very, very good, especially if you are doing this like for continuous delivery or deployment or continuous is it improvement or integration? Integration. Okay, so you want that. Well, sometimes you might have this on a remote, maybe you're running a script or something, so you're not going to be there. So you don't want to always have to log in SSH or some other weird thing to do. So back to this article here, you can see normally you just get the Alpine. So I've explained this. The reason I left the old way is that should hopefully in the future work, where the NGINX, the Alpine NGINX, you just be able to load the NGINX module like that. So that might work in the future. That's why I left it like that. It's for future proofing. And then you can see the NGINX. You know what? Let me actually show it to you. Okay, so I had to make a few changes. So if we take a look at this one, let's go to the NGINX configuration. I'm going to zoom in here so people can see a little bit better. So what I did was, I see before I had allow publish 127.0.0.0.1. That actually didn't work, and I'm thinking this always worked. So the first problem I ran into was that the reason that didn't work is because when I upgrade the system, I still use the old SSDs and the hard drives with the operating system already installed. So when I plugged it in, it was just literally plug and play. It just booted up and I didn't have to install anything. Everything was good to go. The problem with that is my Wi-Fi card. Remember, guys, I told you I had a problem with the Wi-Fi card, and obviously because I did test this and I ran this on the old system, it was working perfectly fine. All the devices, they had the, what do you call that? Each device has its own ID, device ID. So what happened is those device IDs, or identifiers, what I mean, the device identifiers were based on the old system. So in the new system, obviously they got a new device identifier, so you couldn't find it. So the weird thing is this, the container could not find 120. We didn't allow connections from 127.0.0.0.1 because that was mapped to the old workstations, because that workstation no longer exists. So what I had to do was I actually did it a little bit better. So I put this here. I said allow publish one. So basically anything on my network will be able to stream, to connect to this NGINX server when I'm running it. So I thought that would be better. So this is actually better because it will allow me, for example, I don't think it will be this year, but for example, if I'm outside, I have my phone with me, I'll be able to live stream from the phone and live stream to multiple places. It also allow me to, for example, what I might do is the Raspberry Pi or something, I might put it somewhere in between, like for example, the hoop coop and the house. So that way it will act like a Wi-Fi extender. So that would also make it easy for me to, I don't need to stream, it might not be streaming like live, but I'm saying is that I might be able to copy things or see, for example, I said the hoop coop, if I have to delay 5-6 minutes or something like that. And then you don't need to put deny publish all because it's kind of redundant. If you have allow, it's only going to allow this one. So I don't need to put deny publish all. Okay, oh, I also increased the, you see this one here, I also increased the chunk size to 8192, and that made things a little bit smoother. Before it was about half the size of that, so I just doubled it. I think it was 40, whatever was it, 46? Yeah, 46. So I doubled it up. Wait, that doesn't make sense. You guys understand what I'm saying? Whatever half of that was, I just doubled it. Allow play all is the same. So here's what I was doing. So when I did one key, for example, you see YouTube here, that works. And then I would comment this out. Then I would, for example, push to Rumble, that worked. And I would push to Odyssey, that also worked. So then I found out one of the problems with Odyssey is Odyssey has a query string. So the query string is really a pain in the butt, because NGINX, this module, it doesn't recognize them. So you have to encode it yourself, meaning that you have to convert the for example, there's usually a question mark, there's an equal sign, and there's also a, what's the other one, ampersand. So you need to convert them to the you have to encode them and convert all of them. So this for example, ampersand becomes %26, equal signs becomes %3d, and question mark becomes %3f. Those are the type of things to do. So I'm saying I didn't want to do that. I mean, you can do it in PHP, Python, Perl, even on the command line. There are multiple ways to using curl to encode it, but I didn't want to do that. So what I found, and also, for example, BitChute. One of the problems with BitChute is that BitChute doesn't use RTMP; it uses RTMPS. So I was thinking, okay, that's a problem because it's not going to work. So I wanted to make this as simple as possible. So what I did was I decided to use FFmpeg. Then I remembered, because when I did something similar like this for a client during the lockdown, you can use exec_push, and then the path to the file, in this case is /user/bin ffmpeg -i space, then the stream that's coming in. So the stream will be rtmp : //localhost : in my case 1935, and then /, and then here you can hard code it, but I didn't want to hard code it because in the future I'm going to improve on this. And I want to, for example, it will still be the same application, it will be live, but I wanted to say, if it says something like, say, for example, vertical screen, or the default one is landscape, but I want to be able to change this. So I'm going to use variable. So the variable to say like basic. This is just what do you call it? Not an algorithm, flowchart. A flowchart way of saying that if the name would be like vertical, then it will push it to something like, say, I don't know, TikTok, I think Facebook, and Instagram, those type. Even I think YouTube Shorts, and then there else, if it's landscape, then it will be to the same, like as you can see here. You can push it to Rumble, you can push it to Odyssey, and this one you don't have to worry about the query string. You just put it there and it will perfectly work. I already tested this, all of them at the same time, and I'll show you that in a second. I haven't tested Facebook and TikTok. I don't think I've ever streamed to any of those. I did to do to Instagram once. I did to Kick. So yeah, you just get them, and that's how you work. You see this, I commented out because I'm actually not using them. And obviously, where it says your Rumble stream key, your Odyssey stream key, your YouTube stream key, you change those. So FFmpeg has been fantastic, because with FFmpeg I'm able to push to multiple streams, and it actually uses less resources than when I put them here. So when I put it here, I think, don't quote me on this, you can only push to one place. I've tried, like, for example, if I comment, you see this YouTube, that one always works. But then when I put two of them, just two, for example, like to Rambo, the one Rambo would not work. And I'm thinking, wait, everything is correct, and Rambo doesn't have a query string. So that was always a problem. But then if I comment out YouTube and you only have one, like the Rambo, it will work. So I didn't want to investigate. So what I did was, for YouTube, I'm just using this one. And then for the rest, I'm just using FFmpeg. What I noticed when I did that, it uses way less resources. So, but I left this one because this one, the NGINX RTMP just takes the signal from OBS or FFmpeg or whatever your streaming software app is, and will just redirect it right to the destination. So obviously, I can't show you. I can't show you the. I can't show you the real NGINX config I'm using right now because it has all my keys, right? So that's a problem. I can't do that. Now there are other ways you can do this. Maybe you can get it to pull the keys in the URL or something. I don't want to do that, so I'm okay doing this because I'm going to be here to make sure everything's working anyway. So that's perfectly fine. Now I'm going to show you. So these are the helpers, but this is where it is. You see the Restream. This is the I tested sending this video and creating this one, this video as well, and it did work. And you see this is the logs. So you see that you're going to have the error log if there's any problems, and then you're going to have the access log if everything is working well. So I haven't checked this yet, but I checked them earlier today and got them working. Alright, with that said, so let me show you, and obviously here on the command line you just just type podman -compose space up space -d. The -d is just there so that you don't see the logs output to the screen. That means detach. And then for example, let me actually show you OBS. So this is OBS right here. Let's go to settings. So under settings, we go to stream, and as you can see here, I'm actually streaming live right now. That's why you see it's grayed out here. So you see it says, oh shoot, it says localhost. Hopefully that works. Man, keep on. I think that should work. Yeah, it's working. YouTube is working, I guess. Yeah. Another thing, you can also use your IP address, but I guess because it's mapped to localhost, that's fine. And then obviously yeah, so I remember I changed it localhost because when I typed 127 the thing was a little bit different. I'll show you that. And then your stream key, so whatever your stream key is, this you can make this up, it's not actually used in NGINX, but this key, this value is very, very important when you're using FFmpeg. So when you see here FFmpeg, you see the variable app is tied to the application because that's the application is right here where it says application space live. That's one there. You can hard code it, I said, but I did not. I said because I might have different ones for like vertical or different platforms in the future. And then you see the name. This is the name here. That's the stream. That's the stream key. So so that's actually needed for FFmpeg, even though it's local. But as you can see here, when you push, it doesn't matter. It just ignores it, and it doesn't matter what that is. All right. So in this way, with FFmpeg, I'm able to push to multiple platforms. So so obviously YouTube is working fine right now. I can show you something. Yeah, I can show you this. Let me make sure I don't do anything stupid. I can show you that I'm actually streaming live on YouTube. How do I guess I gotta tear this off. I have too many windows open. So as you can see here, you see this is live. See, and you can tell it's live right here. The excellent signal. Let me see if I can pull this back. Just a second. Oh, okay, perfect. It did go back. Stream health is excellent, so that's great. Now I'm gonna try Rumble. I don't know if Rumble is working here. Oh, I think I have to refresh. I don't know why you have to refresh on Rumble. Working here. Oh, I think I have to refresh. This is Rumble. You have to refresh on Rumble. So you can see I'm live on Rumble here.
Oh, I think I have
yeah,
to
this is
refresh.
Rumble. There we go. You just saw that. Okay, let me pause that. So that's working. I'm going to now show you Odyssey. I'm going to show you Odyssey. I think I need to refresh as well. This is Odyssey. Yeah, this is Rumble. There we go. You just saw that. Okay, let me pause that. So that's working. I'm going to now show you Odyssey. I'm going to show you Odyssey. I think I need to refresh as well. There we go. Odyssey. So I'm going to pause that. So that's, as you can see, that's live. And then the moment of the truth, as somebody used to say, I'm going to show you BitChute. I don't think BitChute is kind of a weird one. So I think I need to do a refresh first. Let's see. And let's play. Hopefully that's also live. Come on, you can do it. It says there's 2 people, so there must be. Okay, I don't know what's wrong with with BitChute, but that one should be live. I don't know why that's not. Let's wait. Maybe it will come up now. And BitChute. Okay. Nope. Let's do one more refresh. 3 views. Oh, that's me. Okay, that was just me refreshing the page. Okay, is it live? Finally live or what? Oh, I did hear a voice. So okay, I think it is maybe it's not as what do you call it? Anyways, I'll let you know if something's off with it. Okay, so back to here. What I had to do is oh, let me go to the command. Is it live? Finally live or what? Oh, I did hear a voice. So okay, I think it is maybe it's not as what do you call it? Anyways, I'll let you know if something's off with it. Okay, so back to here. What I had to do is let me go to the command. Is it live? Finally live or what? Oh, I did hear a voice. So okay, I think it is maybe it's not as oh, it's BitChute. Okay, it's actually BitChute. I'll let you know if something's okay. It's actually BitChute. Okay, so back to here. It is working. What I had to do is let me go to the command. Is it live? Okay, finally live or what? Oh, I did hear a voice. So okay, I think it is maybe. I hit pause. Maybe it's not. Okay, there we go. Okay. BitChute is okay, a little bit behind, but that's fine. You see, they're all working. I've just proved that they're all working as you just saw. So right now, I am streaming to as you just saw. I'm streaming to one more time, YouTube live, BitChute live as you just saw, Odyssey live, and Rumble live, all on my system now. As I said, from what I've learned is if you don't have a powerful connection or anything, use FFmpeg. FFmpeg is really is nice. Now, in case you're wondering, yes, it's true. By using a container, there's a little performance loss, but I still prefer to use a container because, and I'll tell you why. By using this container, I'm able to replicate this stuff very easily. Let me explain what I mean. So I don't want to install NGINX on my, I explain why I don't want to install it on my system. And for example, I'm running Fedora, but a lot of people might be running, say, a more stable distribution, like for example, Debian, or even Ubuntu, right? So the problem with that is you might be running an older version, you want a newer version. That's one of those reasons, even if you're FFmpeg. So by compiling a new version, of course you can also compile on your own system. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying that sometimes you don't want to contaminate your your system. So the container, the little performance thing is perfectly fine, as you saw. The delay is not me, it's perfectly fine, as you guys saw. In case you're wondering, I can also show you my settings as well. I've done this before, but I'll do it again. So back to OBS. If we go to, I think it's output. Yeah, output. You see streaming here. You see when it says VAAP, that is using the integrated, what do you call it? It's using the integrated, help me out here. It's using the integrated GPU, and you can see here it says Vega, Radeon Vega series and Cezanne. So that's the integrated one. You see it even says mobile series. Now if I click down here, and you see I do have this one up here, which is a Pro 3. That's the Instinct. It's an MI60, but obviously using the MI50 drivers exactly. I can't even remember what the difference was between both of them. They're very similar. And here are all the settings. So that is for streaming. Now for recording, because I have two GPUs, so see for recording I changed that one and I hard coded it. You should see see that one. I'm using the Instinct driver. So you see here the video encoder, it says VAPI whatever H26. Can I change this right now? Of course I can, because I'm actually recording as well. So that's how I'll just press OK, and as you can see I'm streaming and recording at the same time. The only thing I'm doing is obviously I'm using the microphone here and a webcam, and obviously the one I'm recording one screen, the 1080p screen. Okay, so that's it there. Let me get that out of the way. So as I've shown you that it is possible to do a live stream and also restream to multiple platforms at the same time. Now I'm using GNOME. I'm using the GNOME desktop environment. I'm using Wayland and Fedora 42. So one of the problems with that is, in case you're wondering why I have the separate windows, that's because you see here docs. I don't have. I think they're called web docs. Where you can dock your open windows here, so that way, for example, if I'm doing, if I want to chat in YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, and what's the other one, Odyssey, it's much even though I have a 4K monitor on, putting all those windows there, it feels like I don't have enough space, right? So if I had the docs here, that would be really, really nice, because all I care about is really the chat. Because if the chat's working, I know the live stream is obviously working. So hopefully, I think they have built it for Linux, but they have disabled it because of I think there's a bug in GTK or something. So they don't want people to have a bad experience. Now I could use X11, but yeah, I'm okay. It's I don't game or anything. I think even gamers say they're fine using Wayland, so I'm fine with that. Alright, so what else do I want to show you guys? Oh yeah, I promised to go to the command line, so let me go. As you can see, I'm sure you guys can guess what my stream key is. So let's hop over to the command line. There's a few things I want to show you guys. Let me clean this up first. Alright, so what I want to do is, remember I told you how I figured out the problem why I wasn't this wasn't working before. So it's a very, very simple thing. All you do is you type podman space inspect, then NGINX RTMP. Remember that's the container, and then I'm gonna pipe it into grep. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit here, grep, and I'm going to search for IP address. I think I spelled address wrong. Double D. IP address. Okay, so you see when I type that, it says 10.89.0.2. Let me zoom out just a little bit more. There we go. It says 10.89.0.2. So that's an internal um, IP address that Podman uses to communicate with the containers. Now the problem with that IP address is that that was based, I said, on the old workstation. So obviously, because Podman doesn't know that Podman doesn't know that my system has been upgraded, right? So it thinks everything is still the same. Well, clearly it's not, because number one, I have more memory, etc., etc. So that was one of those issues. So now I said, had I reinstalled the operating system, everything would have been fine. But I wasn't aware this would happen. I just thought everything would work, but clearly it did not. So that's why to resolve this issue, I could basically have, if I uninstalled Podman, uninstall all this stuff, that would also solve the problem. But when you have your containers, you don't want to destroy everything. So that's why I showed you guys the other workaround I came up with, is I just allow publish 192.168.1.0/24. So my router is obviously 1.1, and then 0/24 means that anybody on the network will be able to do the live stream. Now, it's highly unlikely be anybody except for me, because number one is I'm in a rural area, my neighbors are far enough away from me, and number two is you need to know my Wi-Fi password. So let's say I give you my Wi-Fi password and you want to live stream, so yeah, you're on the network, but most likely I won't be running this container, right? Right. So, and then you most likely also want to stream to your platforms, you know what I mean, whether you're on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, and YouTube, or etc. So the point is that why would you come all the way here just so you can mess up my platforms? And I said, yeah, it's highly unlikely. So and yes, it would be a waste of your time too, because clearly I don't know who did it. Yeah, so and nobody touches my workstation except for moi. That's it. All right, so so that's how I resolved that. I showed you how I resolved that, and I said, like, when I used FFmpeg, when I moved all the other thing here, you see, before I was putting all the keys here. That's why I found out about the RTMPS. So I resolved that. I said I used the push, execute _ push. Now, if you're doing some more fancy stuff, I would recommend you just you execute a command line script instead. In my case, I said I'm not doing anything to the files here. I'm just pushing them right to I'm just taking them and just copying them. As you can see, it says C copy. C copy, if you don't understand what that means, it means it copies the codecs, everything the way they are, without any transcoding. So if you're going to transcode, for example, maybe resize it or something else, you can do that as well. FFmpeg, there are a lot of commands. You can run those commands there. For example, if I want to make a copy, I can turn on record on here, or I can use also a push to create a copy. So for example, remember I'm doing 1920 or 1080p. So if I wanted to make a smaller version, I don't know why you would upscale, but if I want to make a smaller version, or maybe I wanted to capture a few frames, I could do that as well. Just put it here, and then instead of obviously pushing it somewhere else, I could just output it somewhere, and that will also work. All right, what else is here? Okay, so these are just the screenshots. Basically, I've shown you everything here, set up as you saw. In this video, not only did I show you that it's working, and it's still working as you saw. This was the old video, of course. This video you guys are watching doesn't have an article. There was no need to. It's just a complimentary video to show that it's no longer proof of concept. It actually does work, and I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so is there anything else I want to show you guys? Oh yeah, I want to show you a little trick. So if you modify, for example, unfortunately, again, Odyssey and BitChute, every time you want to do live, you want to go live, the key changes. They don't have a static key. YouTube and Rumble do have static keys, which makes your life so much easier because you just stream to the same, use the same, I guess, credentials. Unfortunately, I said Odyssey and BitChute, you keep on getting a new key every time you want to stream. So, but that's so then you'll be modifying this file all the time. So when you modify that when you modify that file, because we built it, you don't have to rebuild it again. I'll show you a trick. So very, very simple. That's why we're using NGINX as well. It makes it very easy. So back here on the command line, all you do is you type podman space cp. If you know Linux, cp is for copy, space, and then the name of the file. In this case, it's going to be it's just NGINX .config, and then where you want to copy it to, the container name, which will be NGINX RTMP, and then the location. So remember, the location is /user/locals/nginx.conf. If you don't know where that is, that's we also put that in our, where is this file? Our Podman compose. This is the one here. And in our Docker file, oops, it's like, oh sorry, I made a mistake. This is the file here. Looks like I made a mistake. I didn't update this file. Let me update this file. Sorry about that. This is actually wrong. This should have been updated. Let me grab the actual file there and I will update it. Just give me a second. I'll use cat this time. Podman. No, that is correct. That is the correct. That's the correct. That's actually correct. You can put it in different locations and it will run. So this is actually correct. This is the file I'm actually using. So to run. So that's perfectly fine. But the one that's actually being run, this is just for the volume. This is just for the volume, but the one we're actually running is the one in the Docker file. So this is actually correct. This is the one to use. Okay, what else? Yeah, so that's it. I think that's the end. So that's, if you guys have any questions in any of the chats, I'm looking at the chat, so I'm able to answer your questions. So let me finish up here, because how long has this taken? Wow, it's almost 50 minutes. So if you need help or personalized support, this is still true. If you want one-on-one programming tutorials or assistance with installing, updating, or migrating your NGINX RTMP setup, feel free to contact me at jambo.com/contact. I also offer customer services tailored to your streaming and development needs. So final thoughts: self-hosting your Restream server using open source tools like NGINX with RTMP module is a rewarding project that saves money and gives you control. Whether you're just starting out or want to scale your streaming workflow, this approach can help you broadcast with confidence. And then, so with that said, I also want to let you guys know that I live stream every day at 2 p.m. Eastern. So basically just go to jambo.com, for example here, and then you can go to Watch Many Live Summit. You can see the topics, the upcoming topics. For example, this is what we're going to do tomorrow, the day after, and this one I'm pretty excited with, and then here's another one as well. So you can see those topics, or it's 2 p.m. Eastern. The night streams, I do them once in a while if when time permits and when something is really, I want to get it off my chest, like yesterday and today. Also, oh, why am I grabbing my phone? I'm not going to live stream on that. So I also have a okay, I also have another recommended resource. So for example, right now you see I'm streaming to streaming to 4 platforms. You can stream to more, just add them there. I recommend using, I said, FFmpeg. Do the first one to the main one, and then the rest use FFmpeg. Here's proof that it doesn't take too many resources. I'm going to open up my task manager just to show you. You see, it doesn't use very little memory. Okay, and what else? The CPU. Look at that. Look at the CPU usage. Very, very little. That's almost normal, like when I'm just web browsing. So that proves that. But when I put all of them, just the regular push, yeah, that one I could feel. I could feel the CPUs up. The fans were also spinning. So it looks like. I don't know. Maybe the NGINX module doesn't run in parallel. That could probably be it. The funny thing is the executive_push. That one actually does run in parallel, and then it actually uses less resources, as you can see here. So remember, I'm streaming to 4 platforms right now. Four platforms, and you can see the resources, the memory, and this memory is actually, remember, I also have an integrated graphics which takes up 4 gigs. So that means that I'm actually using, and I said I have lots of windows open. I have OBS, which is a memory hog, and you see none of my swap is being used, so it uses very little memory. When you see this, remember that 4 gigs is reserved for a little bit more than 4 gigs, but 4 gigs is reserved for the what do you call it? The integrated graphics. All right, and then you can see here how everything's going. So I'm going to leave this for a second. I'm going to talk about one of these recommended resources. So as I mentioned before, I'm in a rural area, and the internet is not very good. So I decided to get SpaceX Starlink, the residential service, and it's been really, really great service for me. I get high-speed internet. For example, I'm doing live stream right now. I'm live streaming right now at night to 4 platforms at the same time, restreaming. And then also, obviously, that's why I grabbed my phone, I remember now. So my phone here, the cellular service the signal is spotty, because I said it from in a rural area, just surrounded by farms. And so, on my phone, I actually use Wi-Fi calling. If you don't know what Wi-Fi calling is, just a quick a quick summary is that it allows you to make calls as if you're in a local area, as they call it, your home area, whatever you call it. So I can call, I can send text, I can receive text, I can also do MMS. So I don't need to search in my Wi-Fi on my old phone. I always had to turn on the what do you call it, the data plan. This one it works also with Wi-Fi calling. So that's fantastic. And you guys have seen when I'm doing, sometimes I'm doing live stream, a spammer or a client will call me. I'm not saying my client's a spammer. I'm saying a scammer will call. Or sometimes a client will call me, and you see the phone does ring, and I said I'm using Wi-Fi calling, and there's no issues with it. So meaning that think about it, I could be live streaming, and somebody calls me, so I'm talking to them while doing the live stream, and still there's no hiccup with the network. The download speeds are pretty nice. The upload speed I thought would be a problem. I think I get about I get about 20 up, and I thought that would be a problem, but it doesn't seem to be a problem. As you can see, I'm uploading, and everything is low. Latency is really, really amazing too. Oh, you know what? Let's actually check the latency right now. Instead of me yapping, let me actually check the latency. I can check it right now. I have the Starlink up, and let's go look at the statistics, and here we go. The latency is 29 milliseconds right now. You guys hopefully see all that. That's amazing. And the power draw is 49 watts. The output, yeah. So as you can see, it works really well for my use cases. I do work, I do conference calls, no problem. Now the reason I'm telling you that is because I have a referral link to. So if you guys are thinking of getting a SpaceX Starlink, there's residential service. I would like it if you use my referral link. I'll tell you why. Because number one is they'll give me one, if you actually purchase the service, they'll give me 1 month free, and I believe you also get a discount. I don't know how much the discount is, but you definitely do get a discount. I think it's for 3 months or so. So just check. I guess depends where you are, but you do get a discount as well. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win for everyone. Now, for me personally, I got the second gen, and I'm very happy with it. And also, I've been meaning to do this for a while, so I'm going to share it when I can. I have my novelette here, the algorithmic serpent. So as you know, you guys probably know me as the guy who does programming stuff, but I also created I did create a book that has it talks about something else besides programming stuff. So this is a book about an AI creator where he loses control of the AI system that he created. So there you go. You see my name there, Editor Jambo. You can see the back as well. Oh, it's hard here. There we go. So it's available on Amazon. Just search for Editor Jambo. Links are all in the description. So if you just click on the, for example, if you go down to the article here, you can click on explore the books. It will take you there on Amazon. And I already talked about the other services I offer on jamboservices.com. Oh, I also revamped that site. I should actually go over that site as well. And then my online courses are on jamboshop.com are also here. Just one link for all you guys. All right. Now, with that said, yeah. So I think that's it. So if you guys enjoyed this, be sure to like, subscribe, and you can also leave comments. I do respond, so some of my most popular videos were actually requested by not just subscribers but by viewers just like you. With that said, again, hope you enjoy this. Subscribe tomorrow at 2 p.m.